There she is. Hello magical friends, welcome back to another vlog. Today I am taking you around on an adventure. I feel like I've been cooped up in the house working my little butt away with my art shop and just doing all things for my small art business, and it's been great. It's been amazing. I've been enjoying it, but I feel like I just need a me day. And I did bring my stuff to work. I don't know why. For me, also, like, a me day feels like just nourishing my creative endeavors. I've been working on my poetry book as well, and that to me is like a me day. But I was thinking maybe I should really just take a day where I just don't do anything of that sort that has to do with either my business or projects that I'm working on. Maybe I should just really take a me day and go do things that I really enjoy, that I truly, I mean, I love writing, I love my creative stuff, but just a me day, you know, a day where I just don't do any of that stuff, where I do my other things that I enjoy that don't require any brain thinking of sorts. And that is to go book browsing and thrifting. So I brought with me a couple of, I don't know why I was super zoomed in, so I just zoomed it out. I just realized that. Okay, so I brought with me a couple of books that I want to sell. A few vlogs ago, I unhauled a couple of books that I am parting ways with, so I came to sell some of those. I also donated some to my local free little library. I came to Half Price Books to sell those books. We're gonna take a browse around, see what they have. There's also a Barnes & Nobles around here, so I don't know if I should go in there too, but I don't know. We'll check out Half Price Books because they're cheaper. They also carry used books, so I would prefer to shop from Half Price Books. And then I figured that after some book browsing, we would go to the thrift store. In my last video, if you have seen it, I mentioned a couple of cozy crafts on there for the spring season, and I want to try one of them out. I've been really itching to try the trinket one, the trinket sort of shrine moment that I mentioned in that vlog. I really love the idea of having a little trinket shelf shrine situation. We're gonna go and browse my local thrift store, see what we can find, and then hopefully if I find anything cool, then we'll go home and work on some cozy crafts. Also, has anyone been listening to that Selena Gomez new album, I Said I Love You First? I did not grow up with Selena Gomez. That was more for my younger siblings. I totally missed that, just growing up with her, you know, when she was in Wizards of Waverly Place. I wasn't watching Disney at that point anymore, but I've been seeing her new album all over my TikTok page, and I just had to listen to her new album, and oh my gosh, you guys, it is actually really, really good. I've been really enjoying it. I've been listening to it nonstop. So far, my favorite is is Ojos Tristes featuring the Marias, as well as The Bluest Flame. I don't really listen to pop music, I feel. She's very much a pop musician. The Bluest Flame is definitely a little bit more techno, and I also don't listen to that genre of music. But for some reason, this entire album is giving me all the feels. It's making me cry, it's making me dance, it's making me feel romantic. It's just giving every emotion, and I love it. All right, friends, enough yapping. I'm gonna go and sell these books and take a browse around. Little quick outfit check. Why do I always get embarrassed in filming in public? Books are heavy, books are heavy. was a little sunny today and it just got really gloomy outside. The last 2 days were super hot. They were like in the 80s here in California where I live, which felt like we just skipped spring and went straight into summer. But today is now gloomy. It was kind of sunny in the morning, but it's gloomy. It's nice though. It feels good. You guys, I had major success. This is exactly what I was looking for. I came into the bookstore looking particularly for Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. You guys hear me yap about T. Kingfisher all the time. I love T. Kingfisher. I love their writing. It's so ambient. It's beautiful. It's eerie. It's magical. And I got their newest book, Sword Heart. Love is a double-edged sword. This is, I believe, a YA fantasy novel. This book cover, by the way, is so beautiful. The back says, Sarskis knew that the kiss was a mistake the moment he did it. He kept doing it anyway, at first because stopping a kiss so quickly offended his sense of craftsmanship, and then because it felt too good to stop. A fantasy romance? You guys, and look at this hardcover. Look at this beautiful hardcover. I love the simplicity of just the sword. It's just absolutely stunning. It says here, from New York Times bestselling author T. Kingfisher comes a delightful fantasy romance between a widowed housekeeper and her unlikely sword protector. Hala has unexpectedly inherited the estate of a wealthy uncle. Unfortunately, she is also saddled with money-hungry relatives full of devious plans for how to wrest the inheritance away from her. While locked in her bedroom, Hala inspects the ancient sword that's been collecting dust on the wall since before she moved in. Out of desperation, she unsheaths it, and suddenly a man appears. His name is Sarskis, he tells her, and he is an immortal warrior trapped in a prison of enchanted steel. Sarskis is sworn to protect whoever yields the sword, and for Hala, a most unusual wielder, he finds himself not fending off grand armies and deadly assassins, but instead everything from kindly seeming bandits to roving inquisitors to her own in-laws. But as Hala and Sarskis grow closer, they overlook the biggest threat of all, the sword itself. I think this is just going to have to be added to my spring reading list, and it's going to have to get bumped up to the very top because it's T. Kingfisher. I just have to read this as soon as possible. I have been trying not to spend on books this year. I feel like last year I spent a lot of money on books, and I'm just slowly trying to read through my physical TBR, so I haven't really bought books this year. If I do go out and buy a book, it's going to be something that I'm very much specifically looking for, and also something that I just desperately want to add to my physical book collection. But this year has definitely been the year where I'm just not really buying books. And also, if I want to read a book but I don't necessarily want to buy a physical copy, I'm either borrowing it through Libby, which is free, or I am reading it through my Kindle. So I'm trying really hard not to spend too much money on book buying. I want to be very intentional with what I buy. I don't want to just jump on the bandwagon and just buy books just to say that I have it. There are so many ways we can read books. There's libraries, there is Libby, which is a free resource to listen to audiobooks or read books. All you need is a library card. There are just so many ways that doesn't require for us to spend our money. So yeah, friends, this is the year where I'm just really limiting my book buying. I think now, friends, we are going to go to the thrift store. There is a Savers around here. We're gonna go check it out, see if I find something to make some of my spring crafts, the crafts that I mentioned in my previous video, see what I can make of that, and just kind of browse around, and we'll see what else we get into. All right, back to listening to this album. There she is. Hi friends, we are home. I changed into something comfy, just an oversized t-shirt and some leggings. It is golden hour right now. It feels so beautiful right now. The sun is just seeping in through my window right here and it just feels so good. Earlier it was gloomy, but now the sun is out again. That is the beauty of spring. I feel like we get a handful of just moods in one day. But I wanted to do a quick little haul of the things that I got at the thrift store. Things didn't exactly go as planned at the thrift store. I initially had gone to the thrift store because I wanted to do that trinket shrine shelf moment that I mentioned in my previous vlog of cozy crafts to do for the spring season. However, I didn't really find the shelf in question that I felt was going to be appropriate to do this craft. So rather I opted to trying to find vintage books which I can turn into a really cool just spring moment. So I'm going to be trying to do the cozy craft that I mentioned in my previous vlog, which is to paint flowers or decorate your books very spring vibey. I feel like hardcover vintage books are just so beautiful. I love the texture of a nice vintage hardcover book. So I'm going to be attempting to decorate the spine of the books that I found, which I'll show you guys. I also ended up finding items that were not necessarily for any spring craft, but that I thought were cool and that I needed in my space. Starting off with my biggest piece, I ended up finding this little cabinet of sorts. I feel like this is going to be great to store my art print. Now that my shop is open, I am going to be making a lot of new prints, so I'm constantly looking for new storage for them, and I have storage for my stickers and my smaller size prints, but for my bigger size prints I don't have any storage for them, and I feel like this is going to be great to keep them nice and clean. It wasn't in the best condition, but I think after I maybe file this down, give it a good clean, and maybe paint it, it might look brand new. This was $9.99. I thought it was great because these units tend to be pretty pricey. My next find that I found for $2.99 is this accordion hanger. I cannot believe I found this. There were actually two of these at the thrift store that I went to. I have seen so many images of accordion hangers being used to decorate your space and hanging like a little plant basket on here, hanging just cute little stuff on here, and it just looks so cute. I'll pop some pictures here on the screen that way you guys can see the vision. I don't know if I'm going to put this up just yet because we are hopefully getting ready to move by this summer. So I don't know if this is going to go straight into my storage, but I'm just happy that I have something like this. I am just so happy I found this because this has been on my wish list, and for $2.99, this is great. The next thing that I found that I thought was the cutest little thing ever. I love collecting little things like this that just feel so whimsy and magical, and it is this little door that actually opens. Like, I'm not sure exactly what this was used for. Maybe it's one of those little fairy doors that people put on their trees, but this is just absolutely cute. I honestly don't know what in the world I'm going to use this for, but I love collecting little just random items like this to put on my bookshelves. You guys have seen some of the little houses that I have thrifted and I put in between my books. Just little random things like that. I feel like they add such character to your space however you wish to decorate it. This was another item that I just absolutely love, that I feel would either look very cute in between my books. It could look like a little secret passageway. This was kind of pricey. It was $5.99, but because I was absolutely in love with this, I had to take it with me. This next item I honestly did not need, but I just cannot get enough of getting candle holders, and I could not leave this one behind. I got this star candle holder that is brass. It is pretty heavy for $3.99. It has like this little fabric textured backing for it to sit on, and I just loved the star. I love the gold of it. I love how heavy it is, and I got this candle that was $2.49. and it fits perfectly on here. I have so many candle holders, but honestly I love candle holders. There was this other candle holder that I really wanted to take with me, but I had to leave it behind because it was $8, and it was a staircase candle holder that looked like something out of a fantasy story. Oh, I really wanted to take that with me. Honestly, I kind of regret not getting it because I feel like that little staircase would have looked so beautiful in between my books. Oh well, but this will do with this little candle. This is just giving all the magical cozy witchy practical magic vibes that I love. The next item that I got is actually a clothing piece. I ended up getting this little denim dress. This is actually the only clothing item that I got. I looked through some of the clothing and I had a couple of items with me, but nothing that I really loved. And considering that spring is here, there's some warmer days ahead, I ended up getting this little sort of knee length dress that buttons all the way down. It's very flowy. I don't really like anything tight, and this is just airy for those really hot days where I just don't want anything sticking to my body. This was $8.29. And now for the books and mention that are going to be part of the spring cozy craft that I'm going to be doing in this video. I ended up getting 2 books. These do have sleeves on them, but once I take off the sleeve off of this, you guys are going to see the vision of how I'm going to paint these. The first book that I got cost me $1.99, and it is the Emily Dickinson Poems collection. I made sure to get books that were classics because I felt that once I gave them a nice little spring refresh, they were going to look beautiful. The cover itself is so beautiful, but once you take off the dust jacket from it, it is just a plain white book. Now this isn't necessarily vintage as what I was looking for, but I figured that I can give it a nice little vintage look with some of the paints that I'm going to be using. It does have some text on the spine that I'm going to see if maybe I can either paint over it, but even if I don't want to decorate the spine, maybe I can decorate the front, or maybe I can decorate the sides of this. I am not sure. I mean, the goal was to paint the spine. We'll see what we do once we get into actual crafting. I only got 2 books, so the last book that I got is a very chunky one for $2.99. I got this Jane Austen, or The Works of Jane Austen, featuring Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, and Persuasion. It is quite the thick book. The dust jacket is also very beautiful, but once I take off the dust jacket, I really love, I feel like this one is giving more of a vintage vibe. The texture, I love the off-white creamy color. This texture just feels more vintage to me. So we're gonna try and paint some flowers on here and give it a nice spring refresh. I can already imagine, just picture these 2 books stacked together with some nice little flowers painted on the spine. It's going to look absolutely beautiful. And these are books that I honestly don't mind even if I mess up. I mean, they were only $2. I'm okay if I mess these up. I'm going to experiment with these and see how it looks and use them as decorative pieces. I'm already so excited for this. We have Jane Austen and Emily Dickinson. So excited! But I think I am pooped for the rest of the day, friends. I am exhausted from being out and about. I cannot hang anymore how I used to before, you guys. These days, my body gets so tired from just being out and about. I mean, I enjoy looking and thrifting. I love a good hunt. I've said this over and over again in my channel. It just feels like you're looking for treasures. And every time you come across little cute things that just have character, it just feels like a little treasure that you found. All of that excitement really tires me out. So I'm going to take the rest of the day off, and I'll get back to you guys tomorrow with some nice spring crafting. That needs to be the theme song of all cozy crafting girlies. Alright, got that. Now we need... All right, friends, so it is the next day. I have my art supplies out. I have my gouache out. I have my little paint palette out. I have all of my things. Actually, these are not even gouache. These are acrylic. I'm going to be using acrylic paints to try and paint some nice little botanical flowers on the spine of the books that I thrifted. I actually also just remember that I also have a vintage Sherlock Holmes book that I feel would be really nice with some flowers as well. I think it would be a nice little collection to these as well, to just have some vintagey looking flowers painted on the spine, but we'll see. But yes, I am using acrylics for this project because I feel like acrylics will be more potent in just color value for the spines. And luckily the hardcover of these books are light. They're not like a dark hardcover color. I feel like that would have been a little bit difficult. So we're going to see what we can do with them. I am so excited. As I was pulling all of my art supplies out, I was trying to remember where my love for cozy crafting comes from. Just crafting in general has been something that has been implemented in my upbringing since I was a kid. My mom would sit me and my siblings down to just create crafts, whether it was like making our own Halloween costumes. In particular, I remember one Halloween, I forgot how old I was probably maybe 12 years old. I have two younger sisters and a younger brother. Me and my sisters were the Powerpuff Girls. My mom made our entire costumes, including the hair of the Powerpuff Girls. Everything was made out of felt. When it was our birthdays, my mom and my sisters and I, we would DIY the decorations, the piñatas. My mom would just get us a handful of different crafts for us to do, and I didn't know it then. But now I know that one of the main reasons why she would do that is because we didn't have the money to just buy brand new stuff, such as a brand new Halloween costume. When it was our birthdays, my mom would make us our own piñatas and we would help her make our own piñatas. And it was just so much fun. But of course, it was because there was just a lack of finances. So my mom would look for creative ways to do things for us, make things for us that were crafty oriented. And I just remember my entire childhood just spending time creating my own things. That to me is my earliest memories of just crafting in general, and it has slowly become this thing that I go to that just brings me so much comfort and grounding. It allows me to just play with my imagination. It allows me to connect to my inner child. It just does something very healing and nourishing to my body, to my mind, to my spirit. And now as an adult, not only do I go to cozy crafting because yes, it is more affordable, but honestly, it has become this thing that is for self-care because of the value that it holds whenever I am in these moments of just crafting, the grounding, the serenity, the way that everything just around me sort of seems to fade. And I feel like this is just beyond romanticizing this craft. I think it's really just tuning in and focusing on the craft that you're doing and paying attention to how it makes you feel, to how your senses are responding in that moment, and just honing into those senses. It's just really beautiful for me how comforting crafting in general is, no matter what it is that I'm doing. Just doing simply something with my hands, something creative. And I do want to incorporate cozy crafting more into my self-care routines. I feel like oftentimes right now it is this thing that I go to whenever I have time. But I feel like when I have some downtime, even if it's only an hour or 30 minutes, doing something just creative really goes a long way for my mental health or just getting me started in the right direction in my day. And I think as adults, we need to do it more often and come back to the subtleness that crafting brings, because as adults, things can seem very chaotic and out of our control. And when it comes to crafting, I feel like that's when we feel like, okay, we have a hold of this. This is something we have in control, and anything I do with this doesn't have to be right or wrong, because there is no right or wrong in this particular thing. Well, those are my 2 cents on cozy crafting. Now let's get started on painting these books because I am so excited. Hopefully I don't mess it up, but if I do, I'll just add some charm. I should probably take this out before I gotta set the vibes. Actually, I should probably go look for my Sherlock Holmes one. Okay, so this is another chunky vintage book that I have. It is a Sherlock Holmes one. I thrifted this. Let's see if you guys can see that. I thrifted this a while ago, maybe like 2 years ago, and I use it to press leaves. I have a whole bunch of autumn leaves in here that I've pressed. Oh, well, I've used some of them. That one. But I think it will look very nice with this little stack here. What do you guys think? I don't know. This one is a darker spine, so I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know if my paints will pick up on this. So I just finished painting the book spines, and you guys, these actually came out so good. I think this is by far one of my most favorite projects that I've ever worked on, and it was so easy. I love the look of a vintage hardcover book with some nice painted hand-drawn illustrations on them. These are so cute. I love how these came out. I love the colors. I decided to stick to a red tone for the flowers. This just looks like the cutest stack ever. I did have a little bit of a hard time just holding the book in place to paint the flowers. I would say that this project has been a success. Now I want to style them on my bookshelves and see how that looks. reached the end of this video, friends, and oh my gosh, you guys, I am in love with how the books came out. This has been the most practical and easiest craft I have ever done. I highly recommend it. I am most definitely going to be doing this a lot more. This has propelled me to purchase more vintage books, even if they are not classics, or even if they're books that I don't particularly know that I'm going to be reading. Simply the fact that it is a vintage book is enough for me to purchase it. I lucked out on finding these two books at the thrift store because I was honestly just going in there blindly just to purchase vintage looking books. It didn't matter to me what kind of book it was. I was just gonna purchase a vintage looking book. And I lucked out finding the Jane Austen and the Emily Dickinson book, so super lucky. I really hope that this video offered you a little bit of comfort, a little bit of ease in your day, and I hope that it inspires you to set some time aside and do some cozy crafts. And if you think it's something silly or something that you just cannot set time aside, try and picture a cozy craft part of your self-care routine. Try and picture how cozy crafting offers you comfort and grounding and ease and happiness, and how all of those things contribute to your serotonin. And serotonin is just crucial for our mental health, for our body, for just our overall wellness. And cozy crafting can honestly be anything. It's all a matter of how you feel during that moment. It's all about just giving yourself some time to just feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. It doesn't have to kill your pockets. I often find little things that I already have in my space that I can just revamp, give it a fresh new look. Thank you so much, friends, for spending some time with me. I truly appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe, engage, comment, let me know what you liked about this video. Let me know if you will be trying this cozy craft or any cozy crafts that you recommend that have been great for your own personal unwinding practice. I would love to hear what cozy craft that is for you. Remember that you can create the life that you want because you so deserve it. I will be seeing you in another video very soon. Until then, friends, take care and bye for now.